Absolutely. So we're moving across to the Rams and the Seahawks. Obviously, no Cooper Cup. Who do we think is going to step up in his absence this week, Tom?
I mean, this sometimes we can overcomplicate these things, and sometimes we can be desperate to play the wide receivers who are cheap all of a sudden. And this Rams team, they are going to have cheap wide receivers because they'll have cheap wide receivers outside the Cooper Cup every week. But in redraft, if you're in a situation where you need to start Tutu Atwell or Van Jefferson or Puka Nacua at this point in the season, you're probably tanking in Dynasty, or you're probably in a world of pain in redraft. I think, even if you had Cooper Cup on your team, you probably could have gone out and found a better player than these guys on waivers. I think that the main play that kind of intrigues me here on the Rams side of the ball, it's Tyler Higbee. We saw last year that he was forced to block at a higher rate than we'd normally expect because the Rams' offensive line was utter trash. Yes, the Rams' offensive line this year might have gone from 30th in the league up to 27th, but at least start the year, there's a good chance that he should be out running more routes early on. And I think in Cooper Kupp's absence, that Tyler Higbee at 4,800 could probably be completely fine.
Yeah, I think Higbee's a really nice startable option this week. He's tight end 5 for me on the week, so I'm very excited. But
just let me ask you one question before you get on to your next bit. So when I put these DraftKings prices on here and you saw Cam Akers at 6,200, how did you feel about that, given where we're kind of at him as a player?
It seems too much money for a guy that's got a question mark over him. For me to be able to click the button on Cam Akers, I'd need to be in the kind of $4,500 to $5,000 range. I just can't spend, if I'm spending $6+ on a running back, I need to know that they're getting reliable volume. And I just don't know that with Akers. It could well be. He could be great. He could see the volume that we hope he does. But I don't know. But on the other side of the ball, Tom, my favorite start of the week is Geno Smith this week. I am so excited for what Geno Smith is going to do. This Rams defense is appalling. It is absolutely atrocious. It is Aaron Donald and a bunch of scrubs. Geno Smith is sat there. He has got Jackson Smith-Njigba is back already. He's got 2 studs in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And I just think that Geno Smith is going to absolutely feast. At 6.1K, are you as excited about Geno as I am, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, all aboard the Geno coaster. It's, it's setting off and it's time to go. And I think you can approach this game from both sides. You can lock in the passing side and you can stack DK Metcalf at 7K, Tyler Lockett at 6.7K. You can start all those guys easily in redraft dynasty. I think as high as I've been on Jackson Smith-Njigba, I shared my best ball exposures in our Discord earlier on, and I am all aboard Jackson Smith-Njigba this year, particularly in PPR formats, but not right now. He still has a cast on. He seems to be catching the ball underhand a lot of the time in practice when he's doing so. So this isn't the week to expect a breakout for him. But if you don't fancy attacking the passing game side of things, then I'm absolutely putting Kenneth Walker into my lineup at 6K, $200 cheaper than Cam Akers. And yes, Zach Charbonnet is probably going to eat into his work throughout this season. We've talked about that this offseason, about how we think that Zach Charbonnet is valued really nicely. But Zach Charbonnet has to earn that. And Pete Carroll is the type of head coach who is going to make a player earn that role. Last year, Kenneth Walker found his way into the kind of RB1 territory very quickly because Rashad Penny broke his leg. And Kenneth Walker, between weeks 4 to 12 of last year, he was the RB6 and he was averaging 17 PPR points per game. So it's not like Kenneth Walker completely lost this role. And I think in this game, against a terrible, terrible defense, I'm very much interested in playing Kenneth Walker. So I think, you can look at this from, if you're talking managed dynasty redraft, then you can absolutely play either side of it. In cash games, I'd probably lean towards playing Kenneth Walker. In DraftKings tournaments or DFS tournaments, I'd be looking to play the passing game because I think because of the pricing structure, where DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Geno Smith land, they're probably not going to be as rostered as highly as they should be based on the value that they could return.
Yeah, I think Kenson's in the chat saying that he thinks the addition of Zach Charbonnet is going to force Kenneth Walker to be more consistent. It's very simple. If Kenneth Walker doesn't become more consistent, he's not going to see the field, because I think the Seahawks are going to want to try and stay on trend and keep those chains moving. And if Kenneth Walker's not delivering that